Well, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was visibly uncomfortable today when she was asked about insider trading, doing everything she could to change the topic. Nancy Pelosi has faced allegations of insider trading. The New York Post reports that her investments with her husband, Paul Pelosi, outperformed every major hedge fund last year. And the couple raked up between $8 and $42 million in 2024, which means that their net worth could be around $400 million. Now, President Donald Trump called on Nancy Pelosi to be investigated, which we'll show you in a moment. But this is how Nancy Pelosi responded to the accusations during an interview with Jake Tapper.
Let me just read what he said. I'm sorry that we had some sort of technical issue. Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
But I
and
wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
That's ridiculous. In fact, I very much support the stop the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are prosecuted and they go to jail. But because of the confidence it instills in the American people, don't worry about this. But I have no concern about the obvious investments that had been made over time. I'm not into it. My husband is, but it isn't anything to do with anything insider. But the president has his own exposure, so he's always projecting. He's always projecting. And let's not give him any more time on that, please. We're going forward here, and I'm very proud of my family. And while he might make fun of us, while somebody inspired by him breaks into our home and hits my husband in a deadly fashion, hits my husband over the head, and he thinks that's a riot, I'd rather not go into some of my other complaints about him right now.
Is she panicking there? She says the accusations are ridiculous, and maybe they are, but she clearly didn't want to spend too much time on that subject. Now, a large chunk of the Pelosi's fortune has come from their stock portfolio and trading at just the right time, all done in Paul Pelosi's name. Last year, it's documented that they dumped 5,000 shares of Microsoft stock worth an estimated $2.2 million in July, just a few months before the FTC announced an antitrust investigation into the tech giant. They also sold 2,000 shares worth more than $500,000 of Visa stock less than 3 months before the company was hit with a DOJ monopoly lawsuit. They made several other trades, and that meant that last year, their investment portfolio pulled in an estimated 54% return, more than double the S&P 500's 25% gain, and beating every large hedge fund, according to numbers in Bloomberg. Now, the president unleashed on Nancy Pelosi today after saying that he'll consider Senator Josh Hawley's proposed stock trading ban that aims to ban politicians from trading stocks while in office.
You know, Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated, because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few. How did that happen? It happened by she knows exactly what's going to happen, what's going to be announced. She buys stock, and then the stock goes up after the announcement's made. And she ought to be investigated.
How did that happen? He's not the only one asking that question. In the past, Nancy Pelosi has rejected calls for a stock trading ban, insisting we're a free market economy, but she's since changed her mind. And as she gets closer to the end of her career, she now supports the trading ban.